Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Twem, and today I'm going to talk with Julie Maksimova. You probably know her from her YouTube channel named JuLingo. Now I'm waiting for her to join the chat so that we can start our conversation together. I say hi to everyone. Yes, there she is. Let me send the request.
Hello,
Hi
Mani.
Julie, how are you
Hello,
doing?
everyone. Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you very much. You are in London now, right?
Yes, yes.
So how is everything going there in London?
Not bad. I don't know if you heard, they just opened the lockdown 2 weeks ago, so everybody is just rushing in the streets like crazy, and the pubs are booked out for 2 months forward, I think. So yeah,
Hopefully it was the last lockdown in London.
I really hope
We
so.
will see. So, Julie, would you please briefly tell us about yourself and also about your YouTube channel?
Sure. Well, my name is Julie, and my YouTube channel is about languages. What I basically do is language introduction. I do quick language profiles. I'm trying to concentrate on lesser studied languages. For example, you can find a lot of videos on Spanish or French, but how about Romansh? How about Zulu? We don't know anything about those languages, but there are so many of them. Why shouldn't we cover them? So I was always very curious about those languages, and myself, I couldn't find any information on them. So at some point I decided that, okay, I should find some information and bring it out.
That's great. So, what would you describe as special in your channel comparing to other YouTube channels which are related to languages?
I don't know if it's something special. Maybe I am repetitive, I don't know. But what I'm trying to do differently is maybe do a bit more emphasis on the history, on the culture, on how the language came to be as it is, maybe some influences, how and where did it go to. And I also try to give some atmosphere of the language, maybe through music, through images, through things like that. I don't know how successful I am, but at least I'm trying. Oh, and through the costume as well, of course.
Yes, the way you mix them up, like for example, explained about the language, also grammar. Suddenly we go through the music, and the way you did it, it was very interesting for me. And recently I watched a video related to Persian language, and that was very interesting for me. So what would you describe as your aim at this moment? What would you describe as your ultimate goal?
Ultimate goal. When I started the channel, I don't think I really had a goal. I don't know if I have now. It's just, well, it's growing slowly, slowly. I really started doing it because it's something that I like and something that I would like to listen to myself or watch myself, but what is not there. So I just decided that, okay, then I'm do it. It's not there, then I'll do it. And I'm just continuing like this. There are still so many languages that are not covered, so still so many things to
And when
talk
did you
about.
exactly started it?
I don't remember for sure. Was it 2 or 3 years ago? So quite a bit of time ago. First
Okay,
year,
so
I
it was
think,
before COVID.
yes, well before. I started in the first year, I posted maybe 2 or 3 videos, so I wasn't at all consistent. Then I started to become a bit more serious about it, and still, I wish I could do more videos than what I'm doing now, but hopefully I can one day.
I see. And what do you do beside being a YouTuber?
So right now, I just finished my university in London. I studied urbanistics. It's a study of cities and how they work. So this is my primary area, and I'm not a professional linguist, so it's more like a passion. So I just finished it in January, December, and I found a job in a startup. It is not related to urbanistics as well, but for now I'm working there, and let's see how it's going to happen after the COVID and the job market is a bit more open.
But you are originally from Latvia, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Correct, yeah.
So don't you want to return someday to Latvia to live there, or you prefer to stay in London?
I have something for big cities.
I see.
Latvia is very nice, but the whole population of the country is smaller than 1/4 of London.
I
So,
see. I totally get that. Also in Cyprus, for
yeah.
example, northern region, we have only 300,000 people. That's it, the whole country. That's
Wow.
why it's too low. And of course, when this is the case, we don't have that much facilities that we want. And also we cannot find the communities that we are having common interest.
Yeah, yeah, and
So,
it's just very exciting to be in a good city, in a big city, I mean, because you always discover something and you're very well connected to the rest of the world. I mean, even Latvia is 2 hours by plane away, of course, if we're not in the COVID times. So I'm not
yes.
too far from the family.
And by the way, everyone are saying hi from around the world. Thank
Hi,
you,
guys.
guys. Thank you for joining. And by the way, do you watch any similar channels which you like?
Well, of course, and I guess many of my watchers noticed some similarities to other channels, which inspired me. I'm not gonna say I copied something, inspired. No, of
Yes,
course,
but
I like these lang focus, native lang, and other channels that are much more experienced, much better than me. My senpais, I respect them a lot. Their videos are great, but of course there are 7,000 languages in the world. They can't cover everything, so I guess there is enough room for me too to cover some other
and
stuff.
in which sense do you think those channels are better than you at the moment?
Uh, I guess they have more experience. They have different style, you know, but I have different style from me too, but maybe how they work with the camera, maybe how they build their videos. I still have so much things to learn.
Yes, and that's true. But as far as I understood, your channel is growing very fast, and I'm sure people will keep joining your channel because it was very unique for me. Although I saw similar channels, but at the same time, it was very unique. I told you about, for example, that Persian video. It was very interesting as a Persian to watch it because most of the things that you mentioned was true. Usually you see many mistakes when they talk about a culture or a language, but it seemed that you know very good. It means that you did your research or something. So how long do you do that research before making a video?
That depends. Now I'm trying to become more organized and try to be very organized, try to spend more time. Before it would take me maybe, I would say it takes around 10 days to 2 weeks to do research, then some time to film, some time to edit. So around a month to make a video.
I
Something
see.
like that, yeah.
And in that video, by the way, you mentioned that you are also learning Persian.
Yes.
Is that true? So why is that exactly? Why Persian?
My Persian, also beautiful language, language
Yes,
of
but
love.
lots of yes, of course. You noticed that. So because of maybe poetry, lots of poetry related
Poetry
to love.
is beautiful, yes.
So what's your level now at the moment?
I would say it's a beginner. I can say simple stuff, understand simple stuff, but thankfully it's a quite simple, logical language, at least as a, I don't know, Russian speaker or any other Indo-European language speaker. It just works very nicely. So I find it quite straightforward and easy, possible to learn in the foreseeable future.
I'm glad you say that this is easy, but because as a foreigner, sometimes I imagine someone wants to learn Persian. Then first of all, the alphabet sounds a little weird for them. And also our formal language is very different from what we talk in the street.
Yeah, maybe I'm learning more of the spoken language than formal. This is still to come.
So, for example, which words do you know, or which sentence you know already?
Well, نمیدونم چه میخوای که بگم.
I don't know what you want to say. No, is that what you wanted to tell me?
I don't know what to, yeah, what do you want me to say?
Yes, but that was good actually. It was not easy to make that sentence. Or for example, I say one sentence in Persian. Let's see if you understand what it means.
Okay.
So I say بچه ها کانال جولینگو خیلی باحاله حتما تماشا کنید.
Okay, the children, JuLingo channel, second half, what was it?
So the second half is کانال جولینگو خیلی باحاله حتما تماشا کنید.
Bahale, okay, I don't know Tamashkon.
Tamasha means to watch it. So بچه ها, I use it like it's like guys. So guys, please watch it, for example. Then I said your channel, JuLingo channel, is very cool. Bahale is very cool.
Bahale.
So yes, watching it for sure.
Okay, something easier for me for now.
And have you ever tried Persian food?
Of course. And
Which
I even
one?
cooked.
You cooked?
I made fesenjun, for example, and this is something delicious. Persian food is delicious, and how you mix the tastes.
Even my mother doesn't
phenomenal.
Cook fesenjun.
I had a Persian friend in uni. We cooked together with her mother.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah, that's fun.
So fesenjun is your favorite, as I understood.
Fesenjun is very nice. There's so many that are nice. All of them are actually tasty.
That's very good.
Gorme sabzi, fesenjun, ash, anything
Ash.
is just delicious.
So if you, for example, want to describe what is ash to a foreigner, what would you say?
It's a stew with greens and like veggies too, maybe.
Sounds like a soup, though.
Like a soup.
Yes, more than a stew, I think.
Well, because I'm Russian, we have a lot of soups, so it is maybe a little bit more thicker.
So you originally consider yourself Russian, not Latvian. Is that true?
Well, okay, this is an interesting topic. In Latvia, there is a very big Russian community. Maybe half of Riga, the capital, half of my city. I'm from Riga. Maybe a third of the country are ethnically Russians, very recent migrants from the Soviet times. So my parents just came there, and I grew up in Latvia. So I consider myself as both, I guess, because it's my country, it's my home. At the same time, the communities are still quite separated. Russians and Latvians have their own schools, their own kindergarten. As children, they don't communicate as much. They stay inside their communities. And culturally, we're more attached to Russia because we study in Russian, we speak to each other in Russian. That's what we learn, like our poetry, our music, and these kind of stuff. So yeah, Russia is not my country, but culturally, I'm more attached to this culture. But Latvia is my country, so it's a bit difficult. I don't know who would I cheer for if there was a Latvia-Russia football match, you know?
Yeah, I see. So what would you say as the cultural difference between, for example, culture of Latvia and Russia?
Cultural in what terms? People or food?
Anything that you can imagine, like, for example, food, we could say, or the attitude of people. What the differences that you can emphasize on?
Well, Russia is big, but differences, I don't know. I have to think. Well, it's very different, of course. The languages are completely different. Culture is completely different. History is different. Architecture is different. Don't even know where to begin. Latvia would be more like a Eastern European plus Nordic mix with its own Baltic touch to it. Well, Russia is its own story. Of course, Russia is Russia, Slavic, and other stuff mixed into it. So it's kind of long to explain. I guess
Yes,
I didn't say anything in this answer, anything concrete.
I like the way that you approach to answer this question, because it totally reflects also in your videos, that when you want to go through them, you go deeply. You just don't just compare them randomly. And that's what it shows also in your videos, which I enjoy very much.
Thank you.
So you're also planning to have more videos like this, like covering languages, music, everything in the same video?
Well, it's mostly on the language, right? It's a language channel. Inside there, if it is relevant to the language, I will mention it. Or I like to put some music when I show the example of language, of how it sounds, because I like to kind of show how it is sung, you know, not only how the language is spoken, but also how it is sung. I think it's interesting. I don't know if other people find it interesting, but I think it is.
I'm sure they found it interesting. And guys, if you have any questions, you can also ask. I will share with Julie for sure. Many people said hi from Brazil, from Turkey, Latvia, from many countries, as I can see.
Hello. That's a very, very international call.
Yes, and what languages do you know, by the way?
On different degrees on fluency, Russian, English, Latvian, and French. I speak fluently because I lived in France actually for quite some time. And
cool.
Then Italian, I would say advanced, Spanish on the intermediate level, and learning Farsi and Japanese.
Wow, so cool. So altogether 7 languages, as I understood. 8. Okay, that's very nice. And now at the moment I'm working on 10 languages, but actually you did it much better than me, because I want to be fluent in 2030. But you already mentioned that for some of them you're advanced, maybe 5 languages you're advanced already.
Yeah. Well, I started earlier too.
Yes, that's so cool. And why Japanese, by the way? This is also one of the languages I'm trying to learn.
Well, why not?
Why not?
Just like it's for me to learn a language, there shouldn't be some practical reason. It's just that I really like how it sounds. I like the culture. That's enough. It's been quite a while I'm learning this language, actually. It's not that easy, but I'm trying hard. Someday, I hope I will be able to speak it quite fluently.
I see. So you want to cover as much as possible. If, for example, you can even handle more, you will learn more languages.
What do you mean you can handle more?
Because it's not easy, you know?
There's no limit.
Even for some people, after learning 2 languages, learning the 3rd language is a very hard step to take.
Well, no, actually, does learning a new language make it difficult to speak others? There is somebody asking that in Husar. I don't know how to pronounce it correctly. I'm sorry if I butchered it. So does learning a new language make it difficult to speak others? Actually, it makes it... So first part of the answer, it makes it easier to learn others because you get used to learning languages. Even if it's a completely different languages, you kind of get used to kind of make your brain work for a language learning, for deciphering different types of grammars or something like that. And well, no, it doesn't make it difficult to speak others. You usually, even if you mix up one word from another language, it's not gonna make you suffer or misunderstood.
And Nusha asks, how do you find time for learning all those languages?
Well, that's the problem. That's why it's been such a long time. I'm learning Japanese. I think it's been maybe 5 years. I still speak only on very basic level because it's very hard to find time. I'm
and
not
do you
one
know
of
their
those
alphabets? Like kanji? Do you know kanji?
Maybe like
some of them.
Yeah, maybe 300 out of like 2,000 of them, and still it's not that easy. I'm not one of those YouTubers that okay, one language in 2 months. It hasn't worked for me, but because of lack of time, I guess. But some weeks I'm motivated. I can do it every day. Some weeks there's no time and very lazy, so there's no language practice. It's not good, but well, it happens.
Yeah, and someone combined Japanese and French together here. Can you read it?
All right, I need to go back. 外国語勉強がとても大好きです。Okay, the person likes to study foreign languages a lot. That's what they're saying.
That's great. And by the way, for me, the reason to learn other languages was that, for example, I went to Russia.
Yeah.
Then I tried to communicate in English, but the fact is that not everybody knows English, although this is an international language. So they would say, for example, everyone should learn English, and that's the rule. But the thing is that not everybody cares to learn. So if you want to communicate with them, maybe it's not bad to know their languages.
Yes, of course. And you're going to see the experience of you going abroad and speaking this language is going to change everything. And I experienced this so many times. For example, in Italy, when I spoke to people in Italian language and people in the shops, on the streets, they were completely different towards me. The relation was completely different and the experience was completely different. And, well, they might show you something, they might tell you some stories. God, one old guy on the bus told me the story of his love, how he was with his wife from 17 years old and what happened. And it was so cute. And if I didn't speak Italian, I would have never heard these things, and etc., etc. So yes, there's a big value of learning the language of the country you're going to.
Yeah, I actually talked with comedian Tehran, and he said, sometimes I wish not to know any languages so that people don't tell me those stories. He was already tired of those stories. But anyway, this is a place I understand. And also, when you want to know a new culture, then, for example, let's say if I wanted to learn about Russian culture, now that I know Russian, I have much better understanding when I wanted to learn it through English language. Do you agree with that?
Of course, because language is a part of culture. So it is not just directly related to the culture, it is culture. And everybody's little sayings, little codes that are inside the language, little expressions that they really convey a lot. It's not just a tool. Language is not just a tool.
Exactly. And do you watch TV series with different languages?
Actually, it's one of my methods to learn a language. I always start with learning the grammar. I'm not afraid of grammar. I start by it to understand how the language works. And once I feel that, okay, I understand what is happening, it's like, the skeleton of the language. After I understand it, I can put some vocabulary, which is the muscle and the meat. And watching series is a very good method, in my opinion, because it's short episodes. You don't need to sit there for 2 hours and try to digest a new language. Just something easy, an easy series, 20 minutes an episode, maybe something you watched already before, so you're not getting lost. For me, it's been really a method that helped me to learn Italian and learn Spanish. It's not that easy with, I don't know, in Japanese, for example, because it's also different, but with those languages that I'm already...
So for Spanish, which series did you watch?
How I Met Your Mother. Watched it over again.
in Spanish?
Yes.
This is actually a good method. For Italian, they have The Simpsons in very good Italian version.
Yeah.
So for those who want to try to learn Italian, I really suggest The Simpsons version of Italian. It's very good. So what else for Spanish series?
That's it. I just watched the whole nine seasons.
And you learn Spanish through this mostly?
Well, of course, first I started with grammar and understanding grammar, then also documentaries. I like watching documentaries because they speak very clearly and slowly. And usually they speak about what you're seeing on the screen. So it makes it easier too.
Yes, and Farid asked about your age, if that's a valid question. And Phantom Atom said, you have a great YouTube channel. I can't wait to see where your adventures take you in the futures.
Thank you. And it's not still yet the age that I'm hiding it. I'm 28.
By the way, since we talked about learning different languages, one thing is that as soon as I started learning other languages, my English grammar and my English accent totally changed, and not in a good way.
Really?
So did it happen to you as well or not?
I didn't notice. Maybe it did. I didn't notice.
So, for example, when I want to read something in English, and sometimes it goes suddenly to Spanish, sometimes goes to Russian, for example, why it should be pronounced as U, then it's very crazy sometimes.
Well, maybe not for English because I live in the UK, so I always practice English. Can't get away with it. And I work in English. But for example, when I was learning Spanish, I was already speaking Italian, and it was difficult sometimes to switch between the two languages because they are similar. But it's okay because if one day you need to speak Italian, you should just practice for some time, or for you with English, you just go to another environment where there is more English and it's going to come back because it's always there. You just don't know it.
Yes. Also, we have Russian comment.
The person is saying, you speak Russian, right?
Yes, but I can't say fluently, but you know, Russian language is very hard, so I'm struggling still. But I understood what he meant. I know, for example, kruta is cool.
Yeah.
Like bahal, as they say in Persian, kruta. Это девушка научилась языкам к 29 годам. Also, numbers I usually pronounce it in English. Because if you want to learn it in other languages, it's very hard. How do you cope with that?
Wait, sorry, with what?
How do you cope with that? For example, learning numbers in all the languages.
Learning numbers, well.
For example, in 8 languages, you try to learn them. So how do you learn the numbers and you don't mix them up? Especially in French, it's very crazy.
Oh, French, I lived there, so when you live in a country, it becomes just intuitive and you don't think about it. But well, you just learn it. You have to. You just have to, and you do it. But well, yeah. Don't know what else to say.
Man, Reymato says, thanks a million for inspiring me with your videos, including Welsh.
Thank you.
So, by the way, I wanted to ask, for example, you're learning Persian and Japanese together. So, is it a good idea to learn them together or one by one? What's your strategy?
Well, in my opinion, because they're so different, it doesn't bother that much. But if I learned Italian and Spanish at the same time, maybe that would mix up a bit because they're so similar. So for me, just personally, 2 languages at the same time is good, not too much. Maybe 3 is too much. 2 is enough if they're very different. I could do it.
Yeah, and Nusha says, you are smart and curious. That's why it's not that hard for... So it means that I'm stupid, Nusha, right? That's why I can't do it. But, you know, at the same time now I'm practicing Spanish and Russian for this year. But I cannot do, for example, Japanese together with them. I wanted to do that, but I understood it's too hard to do it at the same time with them. Although they are very different, but I couldn't handle that. Yeah. That's why I used handle because of that, because I cannot do that either.
Or maybe because they're 2 very difficult languages that it's too much to digest. Maybe Persian grammar is you know, it's easy on you. It doesn't make you suffer as much as Russian grammar.
Yes. And do you have such experience that when you talk with multilinguals, then they understand you very well because of that?
What do you mean they understand me very well? They understand why I love languages, or they understand how I talk?
Yes, for example, in Russia, when they want to say be in someone else's shoes, they say be under the skin or something like that. They have such expression. So when someone talks in English and she's a Russian or he's Russian, then he tries to translate it like this. Then you understand her or him better because of that.
Well, yeah, naturally. Of course.
Yeah, that's a good advantage. And also, I don't know if you do that or not. Sometimes playing with words and mix them up. Like, for example, having a sentence as a mixture of different languages.
Oh, yes.
Or you do it a lot.
Happens all the time. And yeah, actually here with multilinguals, it's very nice because you don't need to search for what I remember the word in this other language, but I don't remember it in the language I'm speaking right now. What was it? I don't have to think about it. I can just say all the words in different languages and the person can understand.
That's
For
so cool.
example,
But
with my
yeah,
Russian friends who lived like me in France and spoke English because everybody speaks English, that's kind of a good match because they can understand everything.
that's very good. But the problem is that maybe for me, because I'm not as clever as you, is that when I do these things, I get used to it. Then for example, when I'm speaking in English, then I try to use those expressions or those words. Suddenly I notice that, oh my God, this is not English, by the way.
Yeah, well, everything has its pros and cons. It
Yes.
happens a lot to be very, very slow. Oh, what happens a lot is to start speaking another language without noticing, and you speak to someone in French or in Russian suddenly, and they don't. They're like, "What are you saying?" You're supposed to speak English with them, but sometimes your brain just mix up a bit. It bugs a little bit.
Yes.
That's when you speak several languages that happens a lot.
Yeah, naturally. And Remato, Nusha, and I, all of us are feeling slow comparing to you. And I don't know how much you make other people feel like that when they see you, because you are very clever and you know how to deal with learning languages.
Oh, this is only languages. It's just, practice. Maybe
Yeah,
you're
yes, for you,
you are
yes.
awesome. You're
Just language.
might be awesome and much better than everybody else in
Yes, just
something else
8 languages, guys,
in
not a
your
big deal.
area. Yeah,
So,
no. You can go on YouTube and see people who speak 20 languages, and I
so,
sometimes watch them and feel very bad too. Don't worry. Everything is relative.
so Salvador says, me gustan tus videos, gracias.
Gracias.
And Ferry, thank you. Ferry says, great to see you. See you later. And so let's do something fun, Julie. In our channel, we have a challenge named Crazy Eyebrow. We try to raise one eyebrow up and keep one down. Can you do that?
Oh yes. Let me show you.
Wow. You are even good
My
with body
face is
language, as I
so
can
weird.
see. Great.
The right one goes very easy. The left one needs more practice. Yeah.
Well, that's very good because have you done it before? I mean, something like that. Try to do
Yeah,
it.
I practiced it for
Yes, it
years.
seems that you had practice with it. So
It's
is
a
there something
very,
that
very useful skill I have.
is there something that's hard for you to learn? Generally, not languages.
Just have to think about it. It doesn't come to mind that directly. Or for sure there should be. I
Because
don't
now
know.
it's very hard to imagine after you said learning those 8 languages is very easy. And Nusha says, good, not only with languages, but also with eyebrowing. Yes, that's true. She proved that.
Yeah.
And we have
But
also another.
I can't move my ears, for example.
Yes, only Mr. Bean can do that, I guess. So this Russian was a little hard for me. Emily Clark.
Apparently Emilia Clarke is very good with brow raising. I didn't
Oh,
know.
really? I should check it out because I'm collecting these crazy eyebrows, and I've done it since childhood, and then I understood. Okay, I didn't discover that for sure. Many people are doing it, and I'm trying to collect them in the same challenge named Crazy Eyebrow. So for sure, I will use a hashtag and use yours there because you did it very good.
Oh
What can
yeah.
you do, Yulia? It's Julia actually, but is it Yulia in fact?
Yes, this is the original. Julie happened because I went to France and I kind of became Julie there, and it stayed in English but Julie or Julia are both correct for me.
I see. Saturda says, I can move my ears. Bravo, Saturda. Well done. Dr. Tom has got a collection of eyebrow. Yes, I have the collection. That's true. So, what else, for example, in any facial expressions that you can do but others can't do? It's very hard for them.
Actually, most of them I can't do.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not very good with these things. With folding the tongue in different directions, I can't do these things.
Yes, many of my guests actually did many crazy things with their tongues. It was very surprising. Tsunami tongue, Shirin, for example, did tsunami tongue. That was crazy.
Only eyebrows.
Yes, my talent only just summarized in my eyebrows. That's why I'm trying to collect them to say, yes, I'm doing it good. If it comes to other things, then it will be very challenging then. So, Julie, it was very interesting talking with you. Would you like to add something and tell to the viewers?
Keep learning languages, guys. Don't be afraid. It's a step-by-step process, but I'm with you there. I'm not some kind of a extraordinary person. Just doing it step by step. Just keep motivated. That's it.
Yes, but sometimes they get disappointed because they cannot do it as fast as you do. So
5 years for Japanese and still not even close, guys. Don't worry.
Yes, Julie, thanks a lot for joining me today. It was wonderful talking with you.
Thank you so much for inviting. It was very fun.
Thank you. I really wish your channel the best. And before you go, I also wanted to ask you, beside YouTube, where are you active these days?
Only YouTube for now. Instagram, very, very small amount. I really don't have time even to respond to comments, even though I used to do it. But since I have a full-time job, it's really hard. I'm trying hard to answer at least to Instagram messages. But yeah, it's only YouTube and a bit of Instagram for now.
I see. Thanks a lot, Julie. Thanks a lot for everyone joining us. You guys were wonderful.
Thank you, guys. Thanks a lot for joining.
Yes, and Melis says that, Julie, you are so humble. Yes, that's true, actually. That's true. She's a wonderful person. She's very humble comparing to know 8 languages, especially. So thank you, Julie. Thank you, everyone. See you guys. So much. Paka, paka.
Paka.
How do you say paka in Latvian?
You can say goodbye, uz redzēšanos.
Oh my God. Okay, paka is better.
Or just ciao. We say just ciao.
Ciao. Okay, ciao. Ciao, paka, paka.
Paka, paka.